Hey, but let's get serious here for a minute.
Thanks.
Okay.
They really are coming for us. They admit they are. I think it's a major miscalculation. I'm not trying to be overconfident. They were already planning to censor after the election. Hillary said the alt-right will be discredited when they lose, and we have to shut them down. Well, she wasn't even looking at the real polls. Now we're going to have the president in there, who's not perfect, I'm sure, but isn't going to be for censorship of the media that got him into power or any other media, I hope. How do you see this playing out?
Well, there's something else that is happening, and we actually covered this yesterday on the show, my partner and I, John C. Dvorak, and that is the tort laws. So now you're going to see a lot of reporting about if someone creates fake news or propagates fake news, what legal recourse do you have against those people? So I think you're going to see a number of key lawsuits where someone post something online and they're going to get sued.
Oh, I agree. I think they're drumming it up and trying to maybe frame me as the test subject. I've been picking up on that because they just keep saying things I didn't say.
Well, you are definitely the poster child of fake news today. I mean, they're putting you in everywhere, which I think is fantastic. I mean, what an exposure. I mean, people. Let's
be honest, though. Do you think they pick me because they think I'm weak or because I'm hurting them? I mean, we are growing, we are hurting them. They all miscalculated and thought connecting me to Trump would discredit him, but their own numbers show it actually helped.
I think in general, the people who produce the shows that will do that, like, it's the news networks, CNN and MSNBC. I think it's just because you're dynamic and interesting to look at. And if you live in a separate dimension, which a lot of people do today, and they have their own reality, I think they believe things are true, and I can't stop that.
Oh, yeah, they thought Hillary was really going to win.
Yeah, oh, big time. Big time. And they look at you and you're vocal and you're, and of course it's always the moment where you're kind of energized that they put in there, and that everyone is, oh my God, look at these people. So that's just a visual thing. I don't think they're really thinking about.
And I agree with you. I think it's a disconnect too, because it's not that we think Trump's perfect. It's that Hillary's a real warmonger. Just like we rejected Jeb Bush, everybody, and then she stole the nomination from Bernie Sanders. I think Sanders might have beaten Trump.
Very possibly. Joe Biden might have beaten Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, very possible. Very possible.
Yeah, because he's got that whole blue collar appeal.
Everyone loves Joe.
Yeah, Joe has huge appeal.
I knew Hillary was going to lose about a month before the election when Joe was giving speeches, Biden, and having to go, look, I know a lot of you don't like her, and I don't blame you, okay? I mean, everybody's like, yeah. The crowd's like, yeah, we don't like her. Yeah. And he's like, whoa, man. She is really
I think there was just one Hillary stumble away from parachuting Biden into the race. All she had to do was just stumble one more time, and she would have been carried out.
I think he was on deck. I think he was on deck for her. I think so. I think he was on deck.
She kind of stumbled away into the finish line and then got.
But again, Max, the arrogance of running someone who was in the hospital for over a year in 2012, 2013. We have the sources. They didn't want to say definitively because it gets into records issues and things, but she had a brain tumor removed. I have this from high-level people. Yeah. And the sucker reportedly is growing back. Word is she ain't long for the world.
Laparoscopic surgery removed the brain tumor from the passing the instruments through the anus, up through the alimentary canal into the back of the head. Then they captured the tumor and pulled it out back through the anus, and it's not well reported. But, getting back to the legal aspect of things, where they are.
That was fake news.
That was pretty.
But it was really satire. Stop it.
Satire.
Hey, I said a month before, the Secret Service told us she's falling down. She has a black ambulance. And then everybody saw it happen. I really got that from the Secret Service. Who, by the way, was shaking. When I saw him in Cleveland, I said, we're going to get the next few weeks. And then these are Secret Service. And then we got the info. These guys are shaking because they're so conditioned not to tell the stuff. That's real news, brother.
How does Colbert criticize fake news when he made his bones as a satirist, which is like
he plays a fake right-winger.
Right.
He is a fake news person by definition.
Now he's coming out against so-called fake news.
Brian Williams. Why are they using Brian Williams, the poster, the king of fake news, as the new crusader against it?
Well, I know Brian Williams. I've known him for a while. And he, when I was in New York, living in New York, New Jersey, he would do human interest pieces for the local NBC station on like breast augmentation. This guy is just a total robot. He'll do whatever you tell him to do. He's not a journalist as far as I'm concerned.
He's a hack.
Yeah, he's just a dude.
He looks the part.
Yeah, he looks the part.
Broadcast news.
Yes.
It's a great movie about this.
He looks like a serial killer.
He looks like a guy who does the news on TV. He fills the role.
Couldn't he star in the new American Psycho?
Easily.
That Hemmer guy on Fox. I mean, I'm not saying Hemmer's bad, but he looks scarier than Christian Bale.
Yeah, I agree with you. That guy looks very scary. I wouldn't want to meet him in a dark alley.
But back to Clinton. I think what is happening. I don't know if have you ever had Charles Ortel on?
No, but I've heard of him a lot.
Yeah, so he's the guy he's a financial analyst, and he really took apart the Clinton Foundation. And
let's get Charles Ortel on.
You definitely need to get this guy on. There is so much fraud and abuse that he has identified, and of course, he's not getting on the air anywhere now. And I think that just the tentacles of that organization were so spread out throughout the political system and other large circles that everyone's deathly afraid. They were afraid to do anything against the Clintons. I really think.
Sure. I mean, at the top, they're all scared mercenaries. But what about the minions? Did you see the video of her give the speech yesterday saying we've got to have the government censor people? And then her own minions were like squealing like their mommy had just been killed.
Yeah, well, these people have been terrorized, are very, very frightened, and have grabbed onto mommy, as you say. I think that's...
It's like Nora Desmond from Sunset Boulevard, where, that film, the famous film that Billy Wilder directed, in the end, where I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille, and it's a demented ex-movie star going down the stairs and having a nervous breakdown. That's where Hillary is in her political life.
Great analogy.
Thank you. And
what's the one where there's the two sisters and one's crazy?
Mommy Dearest.
Yeah.
No.
Who's afraid of baby something?
No, whatever happened to Baby Jane?
Exactly.
That's it. Whatever happened to Baby Jane?
Whatever happened to Baby?
We're dating ourselves, gentlemen.
That's Hillary and
Fast
Bill.
and Furious. Quick, let's do some modern movies.
That's the Hillary.
Oh yeah, where cars drive downhill for 30 minutes, running over boulders and don't blow a tire.
Boom. Oh no.
It's worse than a cartoon. At least with like Looney Tunes, when the rock falls on the coyote and doesn't kill him, that it's not real.
Well, let me introduce something. Mickey Mouse.
Okay.
Let me tell you why I'm introducing Mickey Mouse. Because Mickey Mouse is the reason why you have these draconian copyright laws in America today.
Sir.
Every time Mickey Mouse is ready to enter the public domain, they pass the Copyright Extension Act. And due to Walt Disney's corporate influence, Sonny Bono famously did one the last time. So copyright lasts for lifetime plus, I think, 73 or 75 years. So you have, in a sense, perpetual copyright, which means that ideas are owned by the corporations. And this is where they attack, they'll attack new media. This is where they'll attack.
Well, that's what Drudge thought they would do.
You'll say on your show a phrase that they will claim is protected by copyright law, and then that's how they will
Like Pope Francis is a turd burglar.
Possibly. Disney might suggest that the McDonald's Corporation could say they own Hamburglar, and you're violating the Hamburglar name by saying turd burglar, and therefore you can issue a DMCA, Digital Millennium Copyright Action,
Safe Harbor
notice. They'll take it down. But that's exactly right. So even you get close enough to the name, they'll say that's a copyright violation.
And they're expanding that under TPP. Which doesn't exist. It's fake news. Right. Yep. Or no, Hillary said she's against it, even though she gave speeches saying she helped write it.
TPP expands the copyright cartel.
All right, I want to take some phone calls. It's amazing. We have Max Keiser at maxkeiser.com. Who should we go to? James, Steve, Brian, David, Hector, and a lot of folks here. Let's go to Hawaii first. And so let's talk to Steven. You're on the air. Thanks for calling.
Hi, Alex.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, man, I'm a huge fan. I even have your Bohemian Grove video from back in the 80s. I've been following you for years. I want to say I appreciate what you do, and I ask you guys to keep it up. I got 3 things I want to mention for you real quick. About the mainstream media, it's not just the news that's being fake and pushing messages right now. What people aren't paying attention to is it's also the regular television shows. For instance, just yesterday, Supernatural, a television show where, there's a couple of guys go around, they're fighting evil, fighting demons, things like that. They have to exorcise Lucifer out of the president of the United States. Does that sound like anything?
Well, I mean, listen, half the time I stop on some new cartoon, it's guys in tricorder hats trying to blow up the chemical plant and poison the public, and then Green Lantern has to beat them. Exactly. I would say 20% of the propaganda is now in news, mainstream news. But yes, Adam and Max, what about the propaganda placement? They call it behavior placement or product placement, is all over the place. And look, I'm not against any gay people. I don't even care. The point is, it's just everywhere. Gay, 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 gay. And we know it's a push message, or it's anti-family, or it's anti-gun, or it's anti-America, or the terrorist is, bad because he believes that there's a world government. I mean, it's just crazy, the message. And I think the public's rejecting it. But what's your comments on that?
Well, we actually talked about this in a way the other day. And if you look at what Norman Lear did, And he still has a big influence, you know, I think it's the Lear Foundation or something, and they write storylines for Hollywood, and they're very open about it. You know, they put storylines into Modern Family, and it can be about global warming or other social issues. But really, back in the days, we had Archie Bunker, and Archie Bunker became this was a grouchy guy who hated the government, and traditionally those guys were Democrats. But Norman Lear made Archie Bunker a Republican. And for years, that became the face of what Republicans look like on television. And I think that's kind of where the switch went from, you know, the Republican Party who I freed the slaves, you know, they were kind of on the good side of things. And then Archie Bunker became the face of the a-hole Republican. I think that really set a
and you're right. In the 60s, there's all these hundreds of letters. Most of them are online from LBJ. He wrote a lot of them from the cattleman suite down at the Driscoll, you know, with his mistress there. He didn't really live with his wife out at the ranch, Ladybird, but little factoid. And he was writing letters saying, the Republicans passed the Civil Rights Act. We got to do something about this damn Eisenhower, all this other stuff. You know, we're got to get the N-words on welfare to control them, and they'll be voting Democrat for 100 years. I got a plan. And then here comes Archie Bunker a decade later to get people to flip, to think, no, the old racist curmudgeons, they're not Democrats, they're Republicans. And as you said, they've accredited with one show more than anything, with 30 million viewers, 40 million viewers every episode, they convinced everybody of a total upside-down world.
Yeah.
So why is it not working now when they say anybody that wants to own a gun is a racist or anybody that is against Obamacare is a racist?
Well, I think to a degree it is working. I mean, it's definitely, I think that, yeah, I can only say I think people do believe that. But there's a segment of the population that is more switched on, and that is because of alternative forms.
You know who was following leading up to this Trump election very closely on Twitter, which was fascinating, was Scott Adams, the creator of Dilbert. But he started writing and tweeting about persuasion and persuasion technologies. And persuasion technology, it comes out of something called neuro-linguistic programming, and also comes out of the casino industry, which is very good at persuading people to part with their money using technology, using very advanced psychometrics, like filling casinos with certain scents that get people to, you know, comfortable to losing their money, or they program machines and slot machines to win at the exact moment when somebody's about to give up and walk away from the slot machine. And remember, Trump is in the casino business. He comes out of the casino business, and he would be very familiar with that technology and how that works. And that whole idea of persuasion technology, getting people to, you know, you talk about fake news. This would be fake empathy. You need to create fake empathy.
Sure, it's Pavlovian. In fact, speak of the devil. This just broke at INFOWARS.com. Merkel Phelan. This should go all over the web, folks. This is huge. I heard this the other day, and I meant to cover it, but I just forgot I was so busy. But now they've had to retract. Fake news. Newsweek retracts claim Trump supporters booed John Glenn. I believe I was in total error that Trump supporters booed Glenn. So now they first put it out to hurt him, knowing everybody's sad about John Glenn, the first American into space, and you know all the rest of it, dying at 94 or whatever yesterday. Godspeed, John Glenn. And then later they admit, okay, they didn't really do it. In fact, they were like, oh, John, oh, he died, not boo. Oh, we're sad, not boo. But this shows how desperate they are.
You know, when Bruce Springsteen appears anywhere, people in the audience still need to be explained that people are saying Bruce and not boo. So this is so typical.
Oh, it's a very it's an old tactic to just put out this false information. That is fake news by saying that they
and they're the masters of it. I mean, take the head of the Mr. Sun, the head of the SoftBank, one of the biggest Japanese banks, trillions as you know. He comes and says, "I like your new plan. $50 billion invested in high tech next year." He walks off the elevator, gives Trump credit, and then even the Wall Street Journal, he thinks more friendly, says Trump kept claiming credit. Just everything is twisted. It's not even that. It's like it makes you like Trump because they're lying about him so much. Even if there's stuff Trump does, I don't like.
Well, the thing that is just obviously, you know, happening is exactly the same type of attitude that a lot of people harbored towards President Obama is now being harbored and expressed by the very same people who thought that was disgusting.
Yes.
And we have a phrase in the Netherlands, which is, wat je zegt ben jezelf met de kop door de helft, which means you are what you accuse someone else of.
I thought that meant, why are you putting mayonnaise on my French fries?
Well, that was a problem, too.
Let's talk to James in Arizona. You're on the air with quite a trio, I've got to say. Yours truly, Alex Jones, Max Keiser, and, of course, We have the former top MTV star and so many other things you've done since then. You got your own powerful, successful radio show right now. Adam Curry joining us here in studio. Let's go to James in Arizona. You're on the air.
Hey, Alex. I've been watching you for a while. Found out about you during your rant with Pierce Morgan on gun control. Love that.
That was a big moment for us. We got millions of new listeners off that.
Oh yeah, I can definitely tell.
And it wasn't because he had a big audience. He got picked up and was so big that
it was a great appearance.
It chased Pierce out of the country.
Yeah. I'm
sorry. I apologize, caller. Go ahead, James.
No, it's all right. As a millennial, I've actually been taking a look at this all fake news paradigm. And I think the propaganda may have actually worked a little too well regarding Hillary Clinton, because they were trying to, as liberals would do when I was in high school, is that they would try to propagate communism and socialism. And since they did that to such a degree, you have the complete and total socialists, then you have the people who are the counterculture, the free market, and you only have those two paradigms now. So,
oh, I agree. It's become very avant-garde and cutting edge to buck the system, because it's so clear the entire power structure, Republican leadership, Democratic leadership, the Pope, the Communist Chinese, the Saudis, everyone's saying we can't make America great again. What do you guys make of that?
I lived in a lot of countries, and this is the best one. And I won't give up on the idea that we can make it work.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's easy to bash Americans when you've been to other countries.
I lived in the Netherlands. I lived in Belgium. I lived in the UK. The UK, by the way, I enjoyed my time there. You want some racists? It's the most racist people I've ever met in the UK. And they do it with a smile.
That's true.
With a smile.
Absolutely.
With a smile.
Understated.
We get a lot of grief in the United States, for, especially around the world. You guys invented slavery and all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, okay, well, maybe you should take a look at your own country.
More than 20 years ago, when I started INFOWARS, I was a fitness addict. As time went on, my metabolism slowed down. I quit working out. I was working 18 hours a day, and I gained right at 100 pounds. I started to exercise really hard again, and I started to try to eat healthy. Started taking third-party supplements. Started seeing some more gains. But when I started working with Dr. Group and some of the other top formulators in the country, they said, Alex, it's all about trace elements and things that the population is absolutely deficient in. Boom! Weight started pouring off. Toxins started coming out of my body. Then, by early 2016, I was in the best shape of my life since I'd been in really good shape in my 20s. But the election heated up. I started working 14, 15, 16 hours a day. But more importantly, I stopped taking the supplements because we rearranged the kitchen and somebody took the Lazy Susan off the kitchen table where I took some every morning, and I just kind of forgot about it. It was out of sight, out of mind. And so then I realized this morning, I said, we're going to put the Lazy Susan back on the table, and I'm going to start taking it religiously again. And I'm going to work out like I've been the last few weeks at the same level. It's a holiday, so I'll probably eat more. And whatever the results are, I'm going to publish the findings. It's December 5th, 2016. We're only like 25 days from 2017. And I want to invite all of the info warriors of every race, color, and creed that bleed red blood and love liberty, justice, and truth to make our bodies great again.